Welcome to the Peak Show!
Good morning, Peak Scholars, and welcome to the Peak Show. My name is Cactus.
And my name is Edgar.
Before we get into announcements,
here are our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Yeah! I pledge to do my best this day, to honor myself and others in everything I do, to accept responsibility for my own learning, and to encourage others as I embrace my own opportunities to grow, to exercise leadership and to prepare myself for college at every opportunity. For me, mediocrity is not an option. Only excellence will do. Who I am has value, what I think has value. Cogito ergo sum. Who I will become is invaluable to the world.
Please be seated as we pause for a moment of reflection in preparation for academic day.
and these are our announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Door decorating is due tomorrow, Friday.
Free dress tomorrow for $3.
Pink Day is on Monday. Make sure to give your donations before Monday so you could get a wristband, or on Monday morning. You could wear pink, all the pink you can. And
Now for the girls.
yeah.
Come support the junior committee this Saturday at our car wash. We'll be selling food and cleaning your car.
Also, don't forget the movie night is this Friday. Come get your permission slips and your tickets at the main office.
We'll be having a football game at 5:45 against Heights. Come and support.
Woo! Back to you, Edgar and Cactus.
Thank you. Cheerleaders, make sure to be in the gym at 4:15. Don't be late.
Now let's hear the joke of the day with Josh Morrow.
Hey guys, what do you call a fake noodle?
What?
An impasta. Back to you, Cactus and Edgar.
Thank you, Josh Morrow. Now let's hear Ms. Garza for some other announcements.
Hello, Peak Scholars. Not so much an announcement today. We are kind of announced out when it comes to Red Ribbon. Y'all's commitment ribbons look beautiful. I was so excited to see those go up yesterday. It's something that obviously took a little bit of planning, but everybody helped out so much, including the staff. I'm excited to see doors tomorrow. I was so happy to have staff, Mrs. Crouch and Ms. Korthoff, help out with the interview. Today, though, I want to come to you not just as your counselor, but as the child of an addict myself. So before I was adopted at 13, I actually lived with my birth family. And most of the people in my birth family actually struggle with the disease of addiction themselves. When I became adopted, I obviously started going to counseling and kind of getting some help. Through that, I learned some really important things that both people who struggle with addiction and children of addicts have to work on, and that truthfully just need to be reminded about. So I'm going to give those to you today, in addition to a couple of other things to remind you about what you can do to stay healthy and stay safe. Number one, when it comes to the disease of addiction, you cannot control it. And so as a little girl, my mom struggled with her addiction to methamphetamine. I had a father addicted. I have an uncle that even died just last year from an overdose. And through all of their addictions, even when I was little, I would try things like wetting their cigarettes, because I thought if they get wet, then they can't smoke them, and then they'll stop smoking. Obviously, that didn't work. And so every time I tried to control one of their addictions, or every time I tried to beg them to stop or educate them about what cigarettes do to your lungs, I was met with disappointment. And as somebody that loves somebody with addiction, that can be just an ongoing cycle. And so you can't control it. Your only job is to love them through it. Number two is you can't cause it. And so with addiction, a lot of the times children of addicts think, if I am good enough, then maybe my mom won't be stressed, or maybe my dad won't be stressed out and they'll stop using. If I am funny enough, maybe they'll be happy and they won't think that they need it. Even our friends that are struggling with addiction, sometimes we think, if I just have a good enough time tonight, then maybe they won't need to use and they won't get out of control. The truth of the matter is that if somebody has the disease of addiction and they're struggling with abusing drugs or alcohol, there's nothing you can do to cause that. Even our kids that are bad, you're not so bad that your parent is using. It's never your fault that somebody is using drugs or alcohol. It doesn't work that way. Number three, you cannot cure it. Addiction is a disease and it is chronic. People do get better, but it isn't your job to make them better. There are professionals that spend their entire lives working with addicts. I'm thankful that I am one of them. But truth be told, again, your only job when you love somebody with addiction is to just kind of love them through it and to stay safe and to keep your own boundaries. A lot of us think, if I can just force them to go to rehab, then they'll get better. If I can hide the drugs or hide the alcohol. I have had kids that talk about pouring out alcohol and refilling it with water, right? These are my 6-year-olds that struggle with this. By the time that you reach teenage years, we take matters into our own hands a little bit more harsh. And so the truth is you can't cure it and you can't force somebody to get help. The only person that can get help is that person that's struggling with the disease. Just like if I had cancer or diabetes, nobody else can take my medicine for me. And there were a lot of times as a kid that I would try to help my mother and I would try to help my father and these other family members. And again, I was met with disappointment and sadness. But whenever they were ready to receive help and they had reached their rock bottom, then they absolutely did get help and they were able to stay sober. I know that all of those are kind of defeating, right? At the end of the day, you're thinking, well, my God, I can't help them. I can't do anything about it. What am I going to do? What you're going to do is you're going to help take care of yourself. Sometimes, if you were like me, your job was to take care of everybody and you're doing grown-up jobs all the time. Well, that's unacceptable. If you are doing grown-up jobs all the time, you need to ask for help from another grown-up. It's okay to help take care of yourself, but your number one job is to be a kid. Even my 17-year-old, your number one job is still to be a kid. We need you focusing on being college bound and focusing on your work. And if you're taking care of mom or dad or friends, then you're not really going to be able to do that. Number two, you can communicate your feelings. And so that doesn't always mean coming and talking to a school counselor. Maybe that means just talking with a friend or a safe adult. Maybe that means talking with a pastor or somebody that you just trust. It also could just mean writing, drawing, all sorts of things to talk about, just getting those feelings out so that you're not carrying them around with you all day, every day. You can also choose to make healthy choices. I was really lucky that I don't have the disease of addiction, but every time that you have a family member that you live with that has the disease of addiction, if there's one or more in the home, you're 2 times likely to also have the disease of addiction. So you absolutely need to break that cycle. What that's going to look like, for me anyways, and for the many other children of addicts that struggle with this, is going to counselors or going to Al-Anon meetings where other people who are struggling with loving addicts go and they talk and they learn how to be healthy. Constantly educating yourself on the disease and making sure that your boundaries are really good. Lastly, which is why tomorrow there will be no big red ribbon announcement aside from who won the door decorating, is I want you to celebrate yourself. For me, everything about addiction took over my family. And so the fights and the arrest and the who's going to be home tonight and who's not going to show up and who's going to take care of us, all of these questions took my soul, right? And for a lot of you, that's what happens. And y'all come to school and you put on a smile and you act like everything's fine. And then at the end of the day, you're stuck with like all these same family problems. When all of that stuff is going on, or even if you're struggling with addiction yourself, I want you to remember that there are other things to live for, that you will get past it if you get all of the help that we're talking about, because you can break the chain. And so do those things that make you happy. Most of the time when y'all come to see me in my office, I give you the homework to do one fun thing. And so today I am giving all of my campus and all of my scholars the homework to do one thing to remind you that you are a stellar person and that you deserve to live outside of the bounds of all of this addiction and drugs and alcohol stuff. Thank you for everything that y'all have done this week. If you have questions about addiction, about drugs or alcohol, you have no idea what Al-Anon is or any of that, please come and talk to me because I would love nothing more than to kind of help guide you and be that safe adult for you. Happy Red Ribbon Week and have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Edgar, do you do drugs?
No. Do you do any drugs?
No.
Be drug free!
Thank you for tuning in. This is The Peak Show. I'll be here by tomorrow.